Welcome to another edition of the Movie Fellas. We're here today with a very special guest. Why don't you go ahead and just introduce yourself, actually? It's probably the way to go. So.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vikas. It's DJ High Def. DJ High Def in the house. I heard you was doing Predator 2, and I had to jump on this one.
We got the best local DJ in all of the area here with his thoughts today on Predator 2. And yes, I know your complaints will eventually get to Predator 1, but today we're doing Predator 2. Also, my co-host, you know him as Nick Arcana, soon to be Jeremy. If he keeps popping off at the mouth, he's getting replaced. Right? It's in his contract.
Oh, what is Jeremy going to do, huh? How can someone who speaks like this do a podcast with you?
I see it going viral as soon as they hear that voice, so I don't know.
Well, I mean, you did have Tony Todd on here at one point.
Wait, you had Tony Todd on
No.
here?
Yeah, well, let's get Tony down there. Go ahead.
Be my victim.
That is Tony
That's
Todd.
pretty good, right? I was trying to diss him, but I was like, damn, that's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
You should have been the new Candyman. Shit.
We got a slight problem with that.
Oh, well,
We got a few.
Our audience doesn't know what you look like.
We got a few problems.
They,
Let's
they
go
don't
through.
need to know what I look like. They hear my voice and they know what I look
You can
like.
do the voiceover. You know, they go back and edit it.
Look,
You
we
do the
take
voiceover.
Candyman in a new direction. That's all right. You know, this is...
You're not what I expected.
Yeah, you throw the audience off, but then they're along for the ride. You do a convincing job. We're good. So, all right, folks. Today we're doing Predator 2 from 1990. Many of you have seen this movie. Many of you have not. I think most people probably seen this.
You sure about
I
that?
doubt if most people have seen this.
I think the Predator sequels are not that popular overall.
This one in particular. You know.
Well,
I'm sure the newer ones get more flash and bang, but this one probably lost in the shuffle. You know, you got the Arnold one, then you got the new ones with all the Adrian Brody and Sanaa Lathan and all that, and then this one is kind of like.
and we don't count the Sanaa Lathan Alien versus Predator. I don't think anybody counts those.
No one
I
counts.
saw that in the theater.
You and 6 other people contributed to the box office. You're telling me it got a sequel because of you and those other 6 other people.
And that
so.
sequel was just shit because it was way too dark to see a damn thing.
They can't get it right. These verse movies, the only one that works is Freddy versus Jason.
There you go.
The rest
Freddy
of them they can't
versus
get right.
Jason.
So
That's the best
thankfully
one.
we have the classic Freddy
Right.
versus Jason. What do you think about that, Nick Arcana?
Read my face. Read the lines. Read between the lines.
Your face is saying that you enjoy it. It's your favorite Freddy and Jason.
That's what I'm getting from what he's saying. That's what I'm getting from his facial expression is that he loved the movie. He has it on Blu-ray.
That's what I'm seeing.
He may watch it after this
Yeah,
podcast.
right.
So everybody, go back to our Freddy vs. Jason episode and tell me if y'all think I liked it or not.
That's true. But go back in the archives in general because that was a rant that I have never heard before.
And you'll probably never hear again.
I
we
gotta
gotta
hear this rant. So I
We
gotta
gotta find
go back and
what
watch
movie
that
is his weak spot other than that, though. I don't know. We already did Troll 2, and that was...
Yeah,
He did troll.
yeah. He
Hey,
made it.
hey,
Y'all just do it. Hey, you know what? If it's out there, we're gonna do
hey,
it.
that sounded like a very negative reaction to Troll 2, right? Don't get me started,
It
right?
is a very negative reaction to Troll 2, motherfucker.
I'll turn that bitch on right now, all right?
No.
We'll watch it right now, all right?
I don't need to
Oh,
see
man.
no damn popcorn popping just because a hot
You should
woman with
change
nice
the name
thighs
to
show up.
change the name of the podcast. We're doing it. We don't just say
All right,
say we're doing it.
let me give some quick background before we dive into this movie. I like to give a little bit of background.
Danny
Now,
Glover was in this movie.
That's all you need to know.
there's a reason
Because
why.
Gary Busey was also in this movie, and so was the captain from Lethal Weapon, was also in this movie. Very small role. But either way, we got 3 people from Lethal Weapon in this movie, so it's a Lethal Weapon spinoff.
Do you guys know who they approached first to star in the
Arnold.
movie?
Wesley
It
Snipes.
was Arnold, wasn't it?
No. It actually was Steven Seagal.
Steven-
The director even met with him.
To play the hero?
Yep.
No.
I thought they asked Arnold, and Arnold said no.
Arnold, this is going to blow your mind. He was going to be the Gary Busey role. Literally, he was going to
So
be
we were just
that.
going to get our hero
that
back.
just adds more fuel to my fire.
When,
right
when he
there.
couldn't do it, they had the role written bigger, and they wrote it down when he didn't
That
agree
just
to do
adds
it.
So
that
we were
just
going
adds
to
to
get
it.
our
That
hero
just-
back just to watch him die.
That would have made no sense to make Arnold that character.
Really. At least what I heard with the newest
this is why
Predator,
Arnold
they
didn't
were
do it,
supposed to
so.
bring him back, but, you know, the newest one
But
sucked
I
ass.
thought Arnold said they asked Arnold, and Arnold's like, "Nah, no thanks. I already did
I think
Predator
that-
1, and I don't like the setting."
Well, there's conflicting reports. So some reports say that he was busy doing Kindergarten Cop, but I read Arnold's book. And in the book, he said the company that made the movie, they wanted to come back with the same exact budget from the first one,
No.
and he wanted to get paid more. They wouldn't bring back the director, John McTiernan, because his quota was bigger now because he had done Predator and then Die Hard, and they approached him for Predator 2, coming off Predator and Die Hard. He's the hottest action director in the world
There
at
you
this
go.
point. So they got the guy who was coming off making Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5.
the worst
The Dream
nightmare,
Child.
The worst nightmare movie out there.
If you go in the archives, you'll see that we rated Nightmare on Elm Street 5 very low. And that director, fresh off that production, immediately jumped into Predator
Wow.
2.
I like
So-
a lot of backstory. I didn't know that.
Well, at least now we know why a lot of the action scenes you don't understand the damn thing that's going on.
Arnold read the script also. He didn't like the script either.
Yeah, I thought that's what
Because
he
they
thought. He
killed
didn't
his
like the
character
script
off.
and then
The money was
the
shit.
setting and
the script was shit. He said, this is all shit. So.
Because they killed his character off.
No, I mean, apparently, so again, collective reports. One report said that there was something where he was in the hospital and Danny Glover's character would come visit him and he was getting radiation treatment from being in the jungle.
Oh.
But it was always going to be like a secondary role to Steven Seagal. So,
Like,
No
Um,
one wants to be secondary to
Steven
Steven Seagal.
Seagal.
Plus,
So-
how would that fight
How would
go?
it even
Because
work,
Steven
Steven
Seagal doesn't get hit in any movie he's ever done, even his earlier movies.
even when he's marked for death.
Yeah.
His
Even
defensive
when he
style
goes up
for-
against
defensive
Tommy Lee
style
Jones.
martial
Even when he's
arts,
out for justice. Even when he's under siege, he doesn't get hit.
Yeah, so how would that fight have gone
I don't think
with
I even
somebody?
saw Steven Seagal get hit at all.
No.
Nah, I don't think so.
So how would you be able to do that fight with Predator and not make the Predator look like a little bit?
They went to number 2 choice, Christian Slater.
Christian Slater, big time '80s star.
Now, when that didn't work
90s,
out,
early '90s star.
they said, hey, what about Murtaugh?
Okay, when are y'all doing Broken Arrow? Because you got to do that.
That's a good one. That's
Broken
coming,
Arrow
That's going to come soon. That'll be in our John Woo retrospective.
or
I
The
guess.
Wizard.
All right, so after Christian was like, nah, I'm busy, they were like, I just saw Lethal Weapon. What about? And the other guy was like, Mel Gibson? No.
No, not that guy.
No, Murtaugh. How the hell did Murtaugh? I mean, maybe this is a prequel to Lethal Weapon, and Murtaugh was doing some
Yeah,
crazy
how?
shit
It's in the
before leaking
future.
up with Reed.
It's in the
but-
future. How it can be a prequel?
You're right. Because they just watched Lethal Weapon and went, Murtaugh is the real badass, so let's bring him in.
It's like, what if we took that
Well-
guy and made him the badass?
Well, what makes this interesting is like he filmed Lethal Weapon before this, but in this he looks younger.
You're right.
I guess movie magic makeup or
Movie magic,
he looks like
makeup.
the
yeah, because in Lethal Weapon, he's too old for this shit, but in this
in
movie,
this one,
I'm gonna chase down the
he's
predator.
kicking ass and taking names.
Damn.
As
And
I will
being a-
prove later.
And he's being afraid of heights, which, you know, doesn't amount to much later.
He won't go on a roller coaster, but he'll hunt down the predator.
You're damn right.
All right. So we have a whole new setting, guys. The first one was in the jungle.
This one is a jungle. Concrete jungle.
Yeah.
You want to, if you however you look at it, it could
The
be
predator has gotten sick of the jungle and decided to move to the city, but he's not prepared for.
How can he
He got
get sick
sick
of the
of the
jungle?
jungle?
He blew up over there, and up there. I'm just going to go over this way.
But I don't think it's the same predator.
Once he sees how much rent is in Los Angeles, he's going back to the jungle. He better get a rent control apartment.
What was
so.
the going rate for an apartment in LA in 1997, where the movie takes place?
$1 million. I
That's
don't know,
the
but
date
it's
of
a
the
lot.
movie. It
It's
was
a
filmed
lot.
in 1991, but the
It's
movie is
supposed to take place
1997.
10 years after the first one. They wanted to be futuristic a little bit in the future so they could use
It didn't
more
look,
advanced weapons.
It didn't look any different from the
Because
present
the
day. of
director
LA.
had no vision for an actual future.
It looked
He was
kind of the same. Like,
10 years later, it still looks like
supposed to be
1990.
dystopian LA. Like, oh, it looks kind of the same. It doesn't look any different.
Well, how about we just get to watching shootouts between the cops and the gangs?
There we go.
This long ass shootout.
And apparently, this is where the Predator falls in love with Danny Glover.
He doesn't kill him.
He doesn't kill him.
He sees
and-
them, but he doesn't kill him.
maybe he marks him as this could be an interesting playmate. I guess. Is
I
that
guess,
right?
because
is that
he
the right
does-
word? Playmate.
Because
Yeah.
when he first locks onto him, he sees Danny Glover outside the car driving.
That's some heroic shit right there, man. He's just
Yeah, he's just driving.
Driving down the street.
his Ford.
No radio on. That's pretty badass.
Yeah,
he doesn't
well-
need music while he drives.
Yeah, while his half his body is
No,
outside,
no
not being
armor,
shot.
no gear, police gear, no he shows
Well,
up
I mean-
he shows him like a Van Heusen dress shirt and Haggard dress pants. He
Looks like a 90s cop.
Well,
I
to
mean,
be fair, if he's
Yeah, but you're going into a shootout war zone. You think you'd probably want to.
My question is-
nah, because if I'm going to get shot, they're shooting at the head. So
Oh, okay.
I'm dying either way.
maybe a bulletproof vest, I guess.
why the hell is every news channel in the middle of the
Everybody's
shootout?
there.
I know
Everybody's
I know
there.
news people are extreme, but they're literally in the crossfire.
Everybody is there.
especially the one news guy named Tony.
I hate Tony.
The crazy one.
Yeah,
I hope for not a good ending for Tony.
and
personally.
his name in real life, and is no relation to Robert Downey Jr. Tony's played by Morton Downey Jr.
Oh.
So he's actually an actual famous game show host from the 80s.
Yep.
Yeah.
But hey, Danny Glover's in this movie. Who knew?
Danny Glover kicks ass.
I think this is Danny Glover's chance to be.
Kick ass.
Mel Gibson from Lethal Weapon.
Yes. Do you think Mel Gibson went to see the movie in theaters?
Some tells me Mel
Danny
Gibson was
Glover.
probably
Danny
sitting-
Glover was going to be Wesley Snipes before Wesley Snipes.
I was thinking Wesley Snipes
In
is perfect
fact,
for this movie, but it was too
Should've-
early.
Danny Glover should have been in Passenger 57. Wait, I'll take
That's-
that. I take that back.
No, I mean, yeah, you can't
Could
deny
you
Wesley
really,
Snipes.
Could you really imagine Danny Glover fighting
No, I
the
can't.
villain from that one?
I can't. Wesley Snipes never took out a predator, so I mean, I'm just
He
saying.
never had the opportunity.
Well, he did take on zombies and Gallow Walkers. His worst
Well,
movie
he's
ever.
Blade. Blade could take on the Predator. Come on.
Daywalkers. Are they zombies or vampires? I thought
They were and Gallow Walkers. They were zombies.
Oh, okay.
Gallow Walker's little known movie that can be found at the $5 bin at Walmart.
You know,
No, you can't even find that in the $5 bin. You got to find that on Tubi.
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 Tubi's the go-to for a movie you never heard
To
of.
be
It's
honest,
on Tubi.
that's how I watched Predator 2. I had to go on
Oh,
Tubi.
same here.
I had to go on Tubi to
Damn,
find
man.
it.
It's on Tubi?
So what's bad
On
is
Tubi.
That lowers this by a star.
So what's bad is I actually went to Walmart to look because usually they
Look
have
for
the
Predator
whole
2? Yeah.
they have the whole like movie pack of them, but this time they didn't. So I just picked up a 5-pack of Wesley Snipes movies.
There you go.
So
like
I-
the producers, if you could have got Wesley Snipes instead of Dan
So I
Beverly,
actually have Predator, the I think 1 and 2, but it's in storage, so I had to.
Yeah, it's at my dad's place, and I don't feel like going through that destroyed ass room.
I rented it on Amazon Prime.
You actually paid money.
So on Prime, they had the 4K version, though. It was the UHD version.
I'd rather
So it was like $3.
You
I'd rather
rented
watch
it
it
for
for free.
$3.
Rather watch it for
Yeah, I found it
free
for
and
free.
deal with a little bit of ads.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, yeah, I'm not paying $3 to watch
It's
the Tubi.
like, especially since I have the movie somewhere.
I mean, I'll be honest, I
yeah.
regret it. I wish I had my $3. I could have bought some nuggets with that money. So.
Yeah, dude, never deny yourself nuggets, man.
Could have
What's
got you a
wrong
soft
with
taco from Taco Bell.
Now, did you notice when all the bad guys are shooting at Dan Glover with automatic weapons, and he carefully in slow motion navigates his way through, and there's no bullets on him, but then he takes out the entire.
They're stormtroopers.
Save the day, man.
They're stormtroopers.
And this
Danny
is very
fucking
90s.
Glover, man. Saves the day.
It's too old for this shit. I guess not.
Apparently not.
Yeah, well, whatever Danny didn't kill, the Predator gets to.
Pretty much.
And that's going to be the story of the whole movie. Is he's taking out all the gangs himself,
doing all
basically.
doing all his work for him. You know,
Yeah, I'm just sitting there
you-
thinking,
you
like,
make-
well, fuck, I'm just going to let him do it.
making the job easy for Lieutenant Mike Harrigan.
Danny's afraid of heights. I mean, I am too, but you don't see me running around like a badass. I'm too fat for that shit.
Because
DJ High Def, with the name High Def, you actually are not allowed to be afraid of heights. So you gotta change your DJ
It
name.
doesn't refer to height on a building. That refers to
DJ High
the type of music I played.
Well, I should
I'll give you a
mention-
pass on that.
Well, after the Predator kills him, for some reason, Predator doesn't kill Mike, even though Mike trains a gun right at him.
So was he just studying Lieutenant Mike Harrigan as a potential
Could he,
target?
could, he,
Potential-
could he smell that he was a badass? Was it a scent or something?
I guess he just wants to see how much badassery is in this badass.
I guess like in the first one when he kind of when he was targeting all those Arnold's crew, he knew that they were elite, so he's picking them off one by one like it was a game. I guess for him it was part of the game, right? Predator 2, just
he can see that he's
your
armed,
target.
so he is armed.
Yeah,
That
so-
means a lot in this movie.
So maybe it's because he didn't shoot at him.
But you couldn't see him, right? I mean, at
Yeah,
first.
yeah, he's looking right at him. Mike sees the Predator. The only problem is Mike's thinking he's losing his damn shit.
Yeah. I think he saw it. He's like, it's just maybe I'm going crazy.
Yeah,
you
because
know?
he's still using that light reflection thing to make it look like nothing's there.
and he's afraid of heights, so he's still like, get me off the top of this building.
Right.
Wait. Was he really afraid of heights?
Yeah, when his lieutenant came up, he's like, man, get me out of here. Get me off this
Get me
building."
off this damn-
They hinted heavily at it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I must have
but-
missed that part.
But then there's a few things that shows like that's just more of a hindrance than
There was no
actual fear.
There was no payoff. Like it was kind of bad writing because I don't think there's a payoff to it.
It really wasn't. But anyway, did you know Gary Busey's in this movie?
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't realize it until I watched it again. And I was like, oh, Gary Busey's in this movie.
That was going to be Arnold. We got Busey instead. Now,
Oh my God.
I think if you can't get Arnold, the next logical choice is Gary Busey.
Well, here's the next logical choice. Since we should probably go ahead and introduce all the important characters that we need to get to know.
All right.
We got Mike, obviously Danny Glover, Keys, Gary Busey, Jerry, Bill Paxton,
Bill Paxton.
Leona, actress
I
I
forgot
don't
her
think has
name.
ever acted
Remember
before
she-
this.
Okay,
From The Running Man, right?
6th grade. She's from The Running Man. She was Arnold's sidekick in The Running
Yeah.
Man.
Well, she sucked in this one.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be cool if Arnold did the movie again and you had the same girl from Running Man?
She was dialing it up.
And then you got Danny. Now to the Jamaicans attacking a Colombian king.
What about who played King Willie though? What about King Willie?
Yeah, who played that guy?
Well, you got the IMDb. Pull that
That's
up. I
such a-
didn't save his name because he's only in
such-
one scene.
I
such-
feel like I've never seen him in another movie.
I
After
mean,
this,
such
so
an honorable death. I didn't know you could get your head cut
maybe
off.
the
and
Predator actually killed the actual actor because I don't think, I don't
His
think I've ever
facial
seen it.
expression was priceless as the Predator
I'm pretty
was
sure
walking away.
I'm pretty
Oh,
sure he.
Calvin Lockhart.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
He's famous for Predator 2.
Quite the movie career.
Oh, he
there.
played in the TV show Twin Peaks. He played the electrician.
Oh,
Oh.
well.
Hey,
Yeah.
people in fictional worlds
I mean,
still
if
have to have
you-
electricity. So.
I think if you don't have a name in the thing you're playing in, you just have like a job title. I don't think.
Hey, look, he's memorable in this movie.
Well, before we get to King Willie, let's just get to Predator killing a bunch of Jamaicans and then skinning them alive to where they are unrecognizable.
So I guess this whole skinning thing is ritual, is a trophy, is kind of
Trophies.
a sign.
That skinning, taking the heart, taking the skull
Yeah.
and spine, all forms of trophies for the Predator. But here's the thing. So I did mention I don't think he attacked Danny just because Danny didn't.
Random truck.
Yeah, Danny didn't shoot.
Didn't attack him, huh?
Yeah, but in this scene we see a guy turn around and then he gets blown the fuck up. So
I gotta hand it to the Predator. He has some creative weapons. I mean, he has a
especially in this one,
He has a net that cuts you in half. Like it doesn't just hold. Like, a net just.
it just cuts you to
It cuts
shreds.
you to
Yeah.
shreds. That's
This
pretty
one I think they
creative.
introduced the spear in this one as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Him as like a hunter, he's a great hunter.
Oh, he's awesome, Hunter.
And
Is
this,
he really hunting? I think he's just killing for game. at
in this
point.
one, he's just fucking people
Well,
up.
he is hunting, right? I mean, he's.
He is, I mean, but it's not the same. It's kind of the same, but it's
Right.
not the same.
Yeah, because he's going into full-on crowds, murdering everybody.
He kills some
Everybody.
civilians this movie. for
Whereas
sure.
in the other one, it's more of a slasher that just picks people off one by one.
So could you kind of say that Predator 1 is like Alien and Predator 2 is like Aliens?
I would say that because
Or,
one's
or,
more.
or am I disrespecting Aliens
Well-
by comparing?
Well,
to Predator
Alien's
2?
actually a good sequel. I can't say this is a good
Yeah,
sequel
yeah, that's
compared to
true.
that. So the change in tone, maybe for sure.
Change in tone because Predator, even though it still had a lot of action, but
I mean-
still more focused on horror, whereas
Yeah.
this one's focused a lot more on action.
Yeah, I could
Yeah.
because I figured like this could be an action movie in a sense.
The first Predator in the first one, he killed people kind of almost like in a slasher way.
Right.
Like he targeted them, and there was horror movie elements.
Yeah.
This one, he's just jumping on subways and killing everybody, and just
Which, by the way, he teleported, or horror-portation.
when someone teleports in a horror movie, we call it horror-portation.
Horror-portation.
Jason's very known for this.
Yeah, Mike
But-
Myers can do it, can he?
Yes.
Sometimes, yeah, he walks so slow. It's like, yeah.
But yeah, somehow the Predator did it in this one because at one scene he was in the graveyard, and then all of a sudden he's on the top of the train. It's like,
Listen,
where?
what you're discounting though is he had a speed pass, so he was able to get on the subway.
Oh.
He got on the train quicker, man.
His speed pass.
Yeah, it was-
Well, it also doesn't help that the one guy who keeps talking about tangling ass was no longer in business.
I don't like the city setting personally, so
Why?
I just think it's uniquely different from the jungle, but not in a good way. He can be more tactical when he's running around like the woods and trees. When he's on the streets of LA, it's just kind of like
Kind of doesn't. He stands out. I mean, he
there's
doesn't-
already
can't
gangs there and
camouflage,
stuff. So it's
right?
kind of like
I mean, it's technically the perfect place for him because then he gets to kill a whole mass of crowds of people instead of waiting for them to randomly show up in the jungle.
but he's not that kind of killer though.
Yeah.
He should be like focusing on special ops and like
People
like-
who's a worthy opponent.
yeah, he's killing
No.
he killed a grandma in this movie, I think.
No, he didn't kill a grandma.
Oh well.
People on the subway
should've.
train, he killed all those.
Yeah, the
innocent
ones with the
people.
guns. 5 civilians got killed, I believe.
Yeah, but either way, so I just want to mention something about Danny's death before we get to Danny's death. How did the FBI not notice the spear tip in the top of the wall? Are you telling me they just didn't investigate the crime scene?
Yeah, they figured
Look,
it's
they're the
it's
FBI.
decoration.
I got an easy explanation. They're the FBI, not the MIB. Lower your expectations.
Oh, come on. Gary Busey's
I mean,
leading over there.
it's not
Should be
J
the
and K.
MIB.
It's not J and K.
Yeah, it's not JK here. It's not a... Danny noticed it.
Also, they
and-
showed the skinned bodies on live TV.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
So
I'm just thinking, it's like, isn't that too gory to show on live,
Live
TV,
TV,
even
yes.
back then?
Yeah.
So quick fun fact. So the movie originally, the initial cut came out to be NC-17, but then they had to go back and edit some stuff out. So there's like a much gorier, harsher version.
Is it just me or there's a lot of movies that come out NC-17 and they have to edit them down to rated R?
So
Yeah, a lot of horror movies, especially.
everything I've been reading, there's two things that tend to fuck up movies. The first thing and foremost is the damn test audiences. They always want a damn happy ending, and then we get a shit ending in the process.
Yeah,
and then
true.
we get the second thing is instead of wanting to tell the story or show what they are capable of to show for the special effects and all that, but they wanted to show it in theaters too. Otherwise, they make no money.
Yep.
So then they have to drop it, which means they can't show some of the effects. Like Friday the 13th was heavily edited, all of them.
And test audiences are just random people. They're not like specially chosen based on their movie knowledge.
Right.
It's like a random 17-year-old who's probably just like, screw whatever movie I'm watching pretty much, and they take their feedback and then actually make real changes to the movie.
So
Like
they
Scream 4.
So they just be like, hey, you want to see a movie? Come in,
Exactly.
come through this door right here. Yeah,
It's as random as possible. They don't tell them even what movie they're seeing. They just sit them down, they watch it, and then the audience members like give notes, and then literally they're like, "Oh, they don't like the ending. Let's change it." And
Yeah.
it's always been bad. Almost always
Well,
resulted in a bad outcome.
Look, Scream 4. Original ending was supposed to end after when they were all getting pulled from the house. Everyone's still thinking Sydney may be dead. However, then test audience is like, no, you can't leave it ambiguous like that. It's like, but it's supposed to
Wait.
set up the fucking sequel.
Wait. Did they talk in that specific accent?
Probably not.
I like to think so. In my head canon, all the test audience is like, "We don't like that."
Like, oh my
Well,
god.
what do you know, lady?
Like, oh my god, you can't do that.
I think you need to rewrite this. This is
you
not
really
good.
need to rewrite that. No one wants to
That-
see our hero die.
That David Arquette is so cute.
Yeah, why is David Arquette dead in the next movie?
Is that the girl from Friends? In Party 5?
No, that's how I see anyone who most likely doesn't watch horror movies speaking.
What's a horror movie?
The movie you're watching, bitch.
How'd you watch Scream 4 then? Damn it.
just wait a month and then go on Paramount Plus and watch
Okay,
it.
sure.
Anyway, so now let's meet your favorite actor.
Gary
King Willie.
Busey.
King Willie.
King Willie.
King Willie.
All right, look. Here's the
Wait,
thing.
which one is it? Is it King Willie or Gary Busey?
King Willie.
King
He
Willie.
gives a great little speech to Danny Glover.
Which makes no damn sense to the plot of the
didn't
movie.
make any
The thing
sense.
is coming for you, man.
He's
but-
literally talking about demons. I'm just...
I was gonna ask Mike. Mike, did you get all that? Did you understand what he was saying there? Did you?
Mike was like, I'm gonna go get a donut. I don't
Kind
know.
of just walked away. He didn't come with anything.
At the right time because the Predator is up above watching them, and he's
yeah.
like, King Willie, you talk a mean game. Let's see you in combat.
Since you gave away my secrets, I guess I have to. He pulls out his sword. Okay, there's about to be a battle, and no.
And then it's just a head.
I'm just gonna say right now, this is my worst scene because
That's
King
what-
Willie has gone through some shit in his life. He's been through some battles, you can tell. Got the Predator landing down next to him. He can see him in the reflection. They both pull out their weapons. Get this amazing build up, and then
Nothing.
I will have to say this Predator. He's quite the aggressor. He doesn't stay above the trees. He kind of just jumps down, kills people. He doesn't really stay out of sight. He likes to show himself,
Well,
as
yeah.
opposed to the first Predator.
I also do think this one's a little bit more scared than the first Predator because he always stays camouflaged. Unlike the other Predator, I think he only used the camouflage when he was actually in sight. Otherwise, he was in the trees most of the time.
maybe I just didn't track like how much
He was doing real
camouflages.
hunting, whereas this one jumps in front trying to be a badass. But I'm like, if no one can see you, how are you a badass?
That's a good point.
But so with King Willie, they established that if he respects you, he takes your head,
Apparently.
and that's gonna be like
And then-
future Predator canon.
And then rips out your skull, cleans it, and puts it on the wall of skulls along with whatever that dinosaur-looking thing was.
They showed the. I like how they showed the process of him, cleaning the skull off.
well, on the thing we were talking about, they have the
The xenomorph head.
xenomorph.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah, the
that
xenomorph.
that was the first indication because they had an Alien vs Predator comic book, but in terms of the movie world, that was the first thing establishing a shared universe
Which,
with aliens and predators.
My mind's probably in the gutter, but for some reason the xenomorph head skull looked like a penis.
Oh my god.
Your mind is in the gutter.
knew
we
where
can
he was
confirm
going with
that.
that one.
You can confirm that. I can confirm that.
I knew where he was going with that one. I saw that.
You've been
one
watching too much Xena porn. It sounds like. So.
coming. Oh, good one. Gosh.
It's not my fault that the xenoporn, the head really is the penis. So after Willie's death, we were pretty much told that everybody being killed is all close to Mike, even though Willie wasn't close to Mike.
Not at all. He did have one intimate moment with Mike, but that was it. So the Predator's killing off all who are closest to Mike.
Right.
This, I mean, that's kind of like horror slasher villainish.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, we already talked about this somewhat. Predator attacks a train after horror
Oh my
rotating
gosh.
from the graveyard.
This was so unlike the
Oh
Predator
my
to
God.
jump down onto an active train,
Just-
bust his way through. Now, I like this scene a lot.
Everyone was dialing it up.
But, yeah, and you brought this up earlier, though. Like, this is filmed so... The strobe lights and the lighting is
Oh, yeah.
so bad
I
you
didn't
can't
like it.
see anything.
Seizure-inducing.
This is probably my worst scene. This is just so bad. Bill Paxton was dialing it up. What's her name was dialing it up. The nerd with the gun was dialing it up.
Oh my
the
God.
thug was dialing it up. Everybody was trying to go this is my moment. I'm gonna take it.
I mean, I
It's
get
just-
it,
it's-
but-
it
And
was
also,
awful.
the Predator, every time that he gets shot, it deflects off him. But when you see the Predator, you see that he has no armor. What was deflecting the
I
bullet?
don't know. And then he thought to throw a golf ball at him.
I
didn't
appreciated
know
the humor in him being like,
why.
he threw the golf
You know
ball.
what? Bullets won't work, but this golf ball
He
should.
did pick up a random sword from someone.
Apparently, it's the same sword from the original Predator movie, which still makes no sense.
Where'd it come from?
It came from the jungle of South America, apparently.
But
it ended up on the train?
The director was like, the director was like, this is how we connected the first movie. We're gonna use the same
Yeah,
machete.
I don't know if we're jumping ahead, but that's my worst scene. Is just the lights? It was disoriented. It was. I mean,
But I want to be able to see it.
I want to see it.
yeah,
That's
it was.
all.
It
My
was
problem is
heroic
lighting.
action, and
Oh
He
my
said,
gosh.
let's dance, and then you cut to, it's a bad shot. You cut to him flying across the train.
And
That's
now,
just stupid. Don't show that.
and then the Predator leaves Leona alone because she's pregnant.
Was Bill Paxton the father though?
Probably
Might
not,
have
but
been.
no one gives a shit. Well, if he's the father with how much baby was in her belly, she was far enough along that tells me this must have been taking place within the course of months.
So her being pregnant is the reason that Predator didn't kill her.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Predator has a heart.
From what I understand of later movies, you find out that this whole thing of the Predator coming down is actually a rite of passage for them.
Just
Interesting.
to test.
Yeah, it's some kind of test to show that they are a hunter because they're from a planet full of hunters.
You're hunters, yeah.
Well, this mofo was gonna fail that test.
He
so.
fucking
So, to
failed.
be fair, he
He
passed
fucking
to an
failed.
extent. He still got respect from the other predators to be taken away, and then does whatever they do with corpses.
Did he get respect?
They probably threw his corpse in the damn the fireplace. They said, "Oh, you took out King Willie. Good job. Get the hell out of here."
Well, I mean,
They threw his corpse off the ship before they.
no, what they probably did is put it in the furnace so that way it gets extra
Look,
juice.
I guarantee you, there was an internal meeting. They were like, "Should we offer Danny Glover membership?" It's like he could
mean-
become a predator.
He mentions that in the first movie, he had the Predator had a bomb that blew up 300.
How did he survive that?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like 300 city blocks. There's no way
There's no
anyone
way he
could
survived
run
that.
that in that short amount of time.
It's Arnold Schwarzenegger. He has superhuman abilities. We just-
Apparently, I mean,
I don't think the writer and director actually watched the first movie.
I don't think they did. to make that up, there's no way that anybody would have survived.
Took out half
that.
of South America with the.
right. Well,
I saw Arnold alive in the movie.
well,
Two
who-
survivors, but how?
Yeah.
There's no way they.
Well, at least with this next scene, it is very appropriate that they're in a slaughterhouse, and then Gary Busey dies at least 3 times.
The way he keeps popping back up.
How did he got a rocket fired at him, blow it up, and he somehow survives that, gets back up.
Right.
Get out of here! He's saving.
I'm saving your ass.
And then gets like chopped in half by the little ring thing that eventually becomes
like-
Danny's weapon.
If this had been Arnold, I think they would have rewritten that to like actually not have him get killed off. So.
It probably would have just been Danny leaves, and then Arnold would have fought the Predator.
Hey, if
Getting his ass kicked
if
the
Dominic
second time.
Toretto could beat him, so can Arnold. All right?
Well,
He's-
well, too bad. Dominic Toretto isn't even around yet.
As long as he thinks about family, he'll win.
Prayer's gonna be at the barbecue, right?
Yep.
And
The Corona,
now we get probably the longest fight scene ever.
which was
'cause
fucking awesome. It's probably the only good thing about this movie.
I wouldn't say that because it takes way too damn long to get to our main fight.
You gotta build up to it. You gotta lead into it.
I'm fine with build
You
up.
got
I'm
to the
not-
showdown.
I'm not fine with 10 minutes of watching Danny
I
Glover
am.
coming down a pipe.
Okay, they could have cut some of that, but still,
He came down the pipe for 6 minutes.
they could have cut the pipe coming down the pipe.
He could have
inching
slid down the pipe.
He was
Right.
inching down. He was scared of heights, remember? So he had to inch down. He didn't want to just slide down. The Predator was running from this motherfucker.
I think they were trying to fill in the runtime, but hey, just take a long time to go down the pipe.
They could have just had him come down in a creative way. Like somehow he takes his belt or something and.
They cut away from everything in the damn fight.
Especially the subway.
Remember, their
train.
whole thing was we have to keep the same budget as the first one.
Really?
And I
Yeah.
bet they didn't make as much money as the first one either.
Usually don't sequels get
More.
depending on how good the first
We've seen that
one
all
is.
the time, but they were possessed with keeping the same budget. And you're shooting in Los Angeles. The maker said it was very scary because they were shooting like in actual gang alleys and gang territories. They were
Yeah.
filming there. And in fact, with the Arnold thing, they said that Arnold wanted an additional $250,000. They're like, nope, over budget. The hell-
I mean, it is
Ugh.
Arnold Schwarzenegger though.
Now, I do want to ask something. So, we find out the ship is underneath an apartment complex.
How the hell did they get it? Park it in there.
That's one. Second thing is, what was the point of the slaughterhouse? Slaughterhouse is because apparently that's where we see the Predator go in every single time, but yet the
He
ship
could-
is under
They were-
the
I thought
apartment.
He
They were
could've
trying
still
to
got the
trap
apartment
it. They were
complex.
trying to trap it there, weren't they?
Well, they
Predator?
kept saying they did say that they see the Predator go into the slaughterhouse multiple times. So logic dictates to me, oh, the ship's under there. Now you find out it's in some random apartment complex.
That's a big ass ship to fit under.
Oh,
there.
right.
I was just like, how they?
Like, how long has that
that's
ship
hell of a
been there?
What
parking
kind of
job.
basement is that?
Hell of a
Seriously.
parking job there.
How long has that ship been there for one? And for two, how did they, as he brought up, how did they get it down there? We see no exit,
And
no
no-
entrance. And by the time all this starts, you'd think someone would see
I was
the
gonna say,
spaceship coming down.
No one saw. No one reported this. No one.
Yeah.
Like it's a random occurrence of a ship just.
And also, all those apartment complex people would have heard something.
You would think, right?
Apparently, it had to have been there
Seen,
before
If
the.
I'm them, I'm asking for a lower rent. Once I find there's a damn ship in the basement and a predator lurking about, I'm asking for
Especially
some kind of
Oh,
predator or something.
Oh, we got new tenants, right?
Especially since that predator
It's a damn
busts
predator.
through a door and then he just follows like, "Don't worry, ma'am, I'm a cop." I don't think he gives a shit.
No scene here. I got it under control.
That's a funny. The movie at least does have some funny moments. It
Yeah.
needed more comedy. I mean, that was the purpose of the Bill Paxton character was add comedy. It just didn't work.
But he
He was
sucked, yeah.
bad.
He's a great actor.
He
just
was dialing it up.
They all went for it in this movie.
They were going for it.
They all did. So.
Even though, like my man Danny Glover, he was going for it.
compared to Lethal Weapon, where he's like very restrained, he was definitely going for it.
He was going for it.
Yeah.
Well, now we get our climax. It's a sword fight. It's pretty. It's actually able to understand what the fuck's going on.
No, that's an improvement. No.
And then Danny just
Kicks
eviscerates.
his fucking ass.
I wouldn't say kicks his ass. He gets his ass stabbed a couple
No,
times.
that's not how I saw it.
I saw a man getting sliced and diced
Well, here it
until
comes.
finally he
It's
guts-
coming. You know it's coming.
Here comes
guts the predator.
the Mike speech. Here it comes. So.
Guts the.
He guts the predator, and guts falling out. Oh wait, that was cut. Anyway, guts are falling out. We
Our imagination is like guts falling.
Yeah,
down.
Green,
you would
gooey
think
blood everywhere.
Gooey blood, gooey
And-
jello blood.
And then we see that they were being spectated this whole time.
they all appear, and he's like, "Who's
Oh,
next?"
who's that?
You know what?
Who's
That's
next?
why he's so fucking. He said, "Who's all right? Who's next? All right,
They would've-
who's stepping up?
they were about
Who's
to
stepping up to
eviscerate
the
his ass,
plate?
too.
Who's stepping up to the
Well,
plate?"
what's bad is
He got lucky. They were like, we're good.
What's funny is with Danny's character, when he sees all of them, he just looks around and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna die. Who am I fighting next?"
So in his head he's like, "Oh shit!" But he couldn't show that. So
He
he's like-
accepted
he's
death
like-
at that
he's like-
point.
Yeah, so
he's like-
But then he was like, hey,
he's like, "I'm
I'm,
probably gonna
I'm fighting at least.
He's like, "I'm probably gonna die now, but
I'm gonna die fighting."
I'm, you know."
But it is an interesting ending because most monster movies don't end with like the monster be like, hey, we respect you and we're gonna go ahead and just take off. It was a uniquely original ending.
pretty much
And he threw him a gun too. He's
But
like, hey,
the-
by the way, take this gun.
for all your troubles. You
Which
know.
the gun states that apparently that predator that gave him the gun, I'm guessing his rite of passage happened in 1715.
So that
That's a good
expands the
tie-in,
lore
yeah.
because it shows that the predators have been here
Long time.
all this time, and the new
Long
one coming
time.
out actually is going
It's
back.
going
in
to
day.
be what, a Native American woman facing off against them?
Yeah, so
So-
they've been around since the beginning of time.
So what does Mike Harrigan do with the gun?
Keeps
Sell
it.
Keeps it.
I mean,
Kinda
if he sells
reminder.
it, he's getting a lot of money. He can retire.
If he fell on tough times, he might. There was no eBay back then, though. So.
But there is one thing I want to mention. You're probably going to have to cut this out, though. So
Don't
my
cut it.
mother-in-law, she
Depends on what he says.
yes, my mother-in-law, she brings up because I told her that the new movie Prey is a Predator movie and it's going to be a prequel. She goes, "No, you can't do that. Alien versus Predator was a prequel." It's like, no, you get backstory. A prequel is events that happens before the movie. The events of Alien vs. Predator technically take place after the first movie.
Yeah, after, yeah.
We get a backstory that no one deems as canon.
I honestly don't think anything in Alien vs. Predator
It's canon.
is canon.
It's just off the cups.
I don't think most people have seen those movies, honestly.
No, they've seen them, but nowadays I think a lot of people actually don't like them. It's one of those
Nowadays, nobody liked them when they came out either. so-
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people love those movies when they first came. Well, not Requiem. The first one, a lot of people loved it mainly for that Predator Alien fight.
You sound like someone who's seen the movie. So I'm
It
gonna,
sucks.
I'm gonna. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I'm gonna
It
defer to
fucking
you. 'cause-
sucks. The damn face hugger looked like more of a face mother humper.
Face Mother Humper.
That's a visual. That's quite the.
And
You-
there
you
you go.
keeping that one
There's
in?
your callback to Tremors
Yeah, absolutely.
because you still hate my Tremors review.
DJ High Def has one thing he has to say real quick also about this
Look,
movie.
I know you guys hated on Predator 2, but
No, just Nick. I liked it. I gave it 2
but
stars.
I have to make this point. Mike Harrigan was more badass than Dutch. I'm sorry.
Dutch being Arnold from the first movie.
Dutch being more badass. Look, the Predator 1 tagline. Nothing like it has ever been on Earth before. It came for the thrill of the hunt. Okay, sure, right?
Yep.
This is the Predator 2 tagline. In a near future dystopian Los Angeles overrun with drugs and guns, a badass street cop goes mano a mano with an extraterrestrial killing machine. I
Holy
read
shit.
I read it right from the website.
That's not a
sums it
tagline.
up. That sums it up.
That's too long to be a tagline, man.
Dutch spent the movie running from the Predator. Running.
Yes.
Running and hiding. And then when he found out what it was, he just running, trying to get away, get to the chopper. The whole movie, trying to get away.
Get to the chopper!
Trying to get away. And the only time he even has a chance to get the Predator, he had to booby trap. The Predator just stumbled upon it. And then the Predator didn't respect him. Predator was like, you bitch ass. You had to booby trap me to kill me. You know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna just blow everybody up. Didn't respect him. I've watched the evidence. Mike hunted the Predator. Mike knew the Predator was there. Never ran from it. Went after it. The Predator killed his boys. He said, "I'm coming after the Predator." When they tried to trap the Predator in the with Gary Busey and all them,
Oh, yeah.
Been slaughtered
he
out
could
loud.
have walked away. He could have said, "Nah, this ain't my fight." But he went to his car, loaded up, and went in after him. He went in after him. He damaged the Predator. Had the Predator down. Had the Predator down. He could have still walked away, even when what's his name, Kesey. What's his name?
Keys.
Keys. Told him to leave. He said, "Nah, fuck it. I ain't leaving this. I'm gonna kill this motherfucker." The Predator had he had the Predator on the ropes. He had the Predator. The Predator's like, "Oh, I don't want nothing to do with this dude." Mike could have ran away. Mike said, "Fuck it. No, I'm going down the elevator shaft on the ship and fought him hand-to-hand combat." The Predator on the Predator's home turf. On the Predator's home turf. He was using his hand, okay? The Predator you saw it because the Predator tried to throw his last trick
This
on
is the
him.
perfect ending.
He tried to throw his last trick on him with the net. Mike said, "Oh hell no, you're not gonna trap me." They fought to the death and he killed him. Dutch couldn't do none of that shit.
Dutch did fight him to the death.
No, he didn't. He trapped him. He had to booby trap him.
Well, that Predator was a lot more
No,
dangerous than this one.
Mike Lacoste tried that.
All
stupid-
right.
No.
Now, here's my question
No,
for you.
He earned the respect of the Predator. The Predators all came. Did the other Predators come out when Dutch killed him?
Because there was no other
No,
Predators.
did they come?
Yeah, they weren't
They were
there.
all in
Did
fucking
they
Los
come?
Angeles.
Did they come out? Did they come out and hand him a trophy?
No, they were all in Los
No, they
Angeles.
tried to blew that shit up. They said, "No, fuck you. You're a pussy."
So to be fair, this Predator
no,
also tried to blow up Los Angeles.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
Yeah, right on the rooftop scene. The Predator actually set the bomb.
No, he wasn't trying to blow up. He was just trying to get away because Mike
was
had him on the.
set the bomb.
Mike had him on the ropes.
He set the
Mike had him on the ropes.
He set the bomb.
Mike, he was holding on for dear life to Mike. He's like, "Oh, there's only one way for me to get out of this. I gotta blow myself up." And then they all came. They gave him the respect. Gave him the trophy. Nick. He didn't have no chopper coming and bailing him out. He walked out of there like a fucking man.
A chopper did come in.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't.
The chopper
But
came
he
down.
didn't have to bail him out. They just say, "Look what you did. You killed him." They was pissed off that he killed him. That's why, even though Predator 2 is not a good movie, but Mike Harrigan, damn it, is more badass than Dutch.
Now let's take Mike
No,
Harrigan.
wait. You can't do hypotheticals. You can only use what's in the movie that you can't. Don't throw in obscure.
But I am. Because we have to.
Go ahead.
You're saying one thing. Now, granted, at the end of the day, I agree with a lot of your points. I just wanted to ask the question of, Let's take Mike
Yeah.
out of his element and put him where the Predator is, because the Predator technically was out of his element with this one.
Mm-hmm.
Take Mike out of his element, put him in the jungle.
Maybe, but technically,
Not
Mike
maybe.
was on the Predator ship. That's what more home court advantage do you need? He's on their ship.
Yeah, but the Predator didn't use anything on the ship.
Yeah,
he used his own weapon.
He tried to use his, but what else he's gonna use? He was on their turf.
I'm sure the ship had guns all over.
Maybe. Okay.
All right. I got a way to solve this. All right.
What?
Mike, Dutch, who wins in arm wrestling?
Oh,
That's what-
Dutch is gonna win
Yeah,
that.
that's a bullshit
You
way to
son
figure
of a
something
You,
out.
you lock
You
them
saw-
both in a room.
you saw the
who's,
bicep.
who's coming out the room?
I mean, Dutch is gonna win, but
In a fair fight, Dutch would win, but we can't go off a fair fight.
Now you're both wrong, right? You didn't know that Dominic Treadle was also in that room. he walks out. You don't see him walk in. He walks out. So.
Toretto, you son of a bitch.
How the hell did Toretto get this bitch?
They lock arms.
Best character.
Or
Or
best
best
performance.
performance.
Best performance.
Who wants to go first?
I can go. You know who mine is.
To be honest, it's going to be mine too.
Danny Glover,
Yeah.
baby. Mike Harrigan. Best performance.
He's the only one that's actually memorable with this movie.
Even though he was dialing it up too.
Yeah, but he was still memorable and believable as
Sure.
a cop.
Yeah.
That's like, especially since this movie, you can tell is hot. I felt hot just watching it. It doesn't
It
help that I was
was-
in a hot
It
room.
looks like a hot, yeah.
It was.
So it could be they were all also frustrated at the situation, because someone tells me it was hot when they were filming too.
It was actually in LA, so it probably was. You're right.
So yeah, but either way, even though he dialed it up, I still believed him as his character more than I believed anybody else in
I
this
agree.
movie.
Anybody.
Besides,
I'm okay with him.
Besides Kevin Hall.
I'm okay with him dialing it up because it felt necessary. Because he has to go one-on-one with the Predator. He has to be. He can't be laid back. He has to be
He was.
aggressive and out
Every scene he dialed it up, even when he didn't know the Predator existed.
right.
there. Yeah, I think he channeled. He was like, okay, what am I doing here? Okay, really, I'm Riggs.
Hey,
Right.
I'm Riggs.
But guys, can I come up to you and go like that in your face? Can I do that?
Yeah, no.
Well, he said yes first. Do it.
He was channeling Riggs.
Yeah.
He did a good job. So
I mean, it's Riggs on steroids.
it's Riggs on steroids.
Worst performance.
Ooh,
For me, it's Leona.
Bill Paxton.
you can go either way with this one.
Yeah, but I'm doing Leona because her acting, every single word she spoke, did not.
I got a
I was
theory.
like, shut up.
I got a weird theory. Maybe they cast her at a time when they thought that Arnold was going to be in it, and they had the Running Man connection. And then Arnold backed out, and they'd already cast her. And they're like,
Well, was she
"Ah."
better in Running Man than she was in this?
Actually,
Yeah, she was likable Running
She
Man.
actually really good. in
Because
Running Man.
We'll have
I
to do
literally-
Running Man. You'll like it. It was actually she was really good. In that.
Still kind of annoying, but she was actually tolerable.
Well,
Good.
this one
was
she
good.
wasn't
Yeah.
annoying. She was just wasn't acting.
Yeah, she was
She
dialing it
felt
up.
she felt like one of those. She was acting like she was already in the movie, now acting to get the villain, the bad guys to believe her. It's like, I think you should. It's like, shut up.
Yeah.
Well, for me, rest in peace. What is Bill Paxton? I mean, I know he was supposed to be comic relief and I guess goofy.
But do you
funny.
blame him or do you blame the script? Because they
Both.
made
It's
him
both.
annoying.
It's both. I mean,
Yeah.
he I guess he could have played that part, but the way he played it, I was just like, get this, please stop.
And I blame the director, because the director should have went back and said, yeah, dial it down.
Just take it down a little bit.
He's the guy who made Nightmare 5.
So I mean, were they like, cut? That's good, Bill. That's
right.
Stay.
You did great.
That was perfect.
Nightmare 5 had the worst child performance ever. And getting a good child performance is all about the director working with the child. So,
So-
I'm going to go a different direction, though. Worst performance? Gary fucking Busey.
I dare you.
Every CD came on my screen, I was like, ah.
And he was dialing it up too.
It was a bad day at the office for everybody except Dan Glover.
Well, best scene,
Final fight scene.
same. Just because, unlike all the other fight scenes, that one, you could tell what was going on.
You could tell what was going on. Yeah.
I
It
agree.
wasn't overly cut. It wasn't Caesar-inducing. It was a fight scene that was
Right.
actually filmed correctly.
Right.
I agree. That stands out.
Well, for you, according to Nick, you got to cut the first 20 minutes of the final showdown.
Yeah, you gotta cut. You can.
It took a long time to get there.
I have
Right,
no
it
problem
did.
starting it where it starts. I have no problems getting where we got. I have a problem with how long it took us to get there.
That damn pipe.
Okay, to your point, when I went back and watched, I was like, "Damn, hurry up and get to the fight." I forgot how long it took
It's
to get
very
there.
drawn out. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean,
I forgot.
literally from the hunt on the damn rooftop to him cutting it off. It's like that could have taken 10 seconds to do.
You probably could have.
didn't need 5 damn minutes.
The movie's actually kind of long. It's an hour and 50 minutes ish.
Yeah.
You could have cut it down to like an hour and 35
It
minutes.
could have
There's
been,
a-
it could have been an hour and a half. Yeah.
There's a lot of scenes that could have been cut down, and the movie still make to get the progress
Yeah.
it needs.
Oh, worst scene.
Worst scene. That for me is the train scene.
Train.
I got headaches watching that.
Everyone was dialing it up. The flashing
I get
lights.
it, but because what was built up, I've already said it. It's King Willie's death scene, if you want to
Yeah.
loosely call
Sure.
it the death scene. But
Well, it was a death scene. He died.
no, we
Well-
showed him already dead though. So
So I had the worst scene. I picked the subway scene.
the subway
train scene.
The subway scene also is very out of character for Predator.
But I also thought about the scene where Mike confronts Gary Busey at the
At the police
office.
station.
I almost picked that because it was just like so over the top, and he's like running through in the face. I'm just like, but it was the train
that is
scene.
true.
All right. Well, what would you like to change?
The wardrobe.
I'd like to change how they did some of these action scenes.
Can we figure out a way to get Arnold in there somewhere? somehow?
I don't need Arnold. I just need the action scenes make some fucking sense.
Yeah.
And so you would change basically the editing. The
I mean, you
cinematography.
can completely take away that damn subway scene. You can always have Jerry die another way.
Yeah, we could.
In fact, that's what I said I would want to change is have Jerry have a mini fight with the Predator, where it shows the Predator can actually do hand-to-hand combat without waiting for the final fight. Because really, he didn't do hand-to-hand combat in the final fight.
I don't know. It's like it's the heat wave in LA, and you're wearing like long sleeve coat jackets and
Yeah, that's why he was
hats
hot.
and
That's why you were
shorts
so
and-
hot. You were seeing him like wearing layers.
I'm just like,
And they're always sweat
can we
through
go
their
short
shoes.
sleeve
Like,
maybe?
God damn,
You show up
guys.
to
and
You
he's
show
never
up to
he's never drinking a water bottle or anything. It's like those dudes.
They were so
You
dehydrated.
show up to a gunfight in a Van Heusen dress shirt with Hagar dress pants. I don't know why you don't like a
Yeah, did he ever eat in the movie?
I
No.
just didn't see him. He
His
drank.
pers-
Did he drink? He's in the bar scene, right?
Did we ever see his personal life at all?
No.
We did
I
not
would like
explore any-
more,
I think they try to focus more on it being a Predator meets cop drama.
but he works 24 hours a day apparently.
Seemed like he sleeps in the station.
Cop drama. So, overall thoughts, I say give it to high def.
DJ High Def, you want to go ahead? So
Oh,
basically,
thoughts?
give final thoughts, then give your star rating.
Final thoughts is, it was, I guess, somewhat entertaining. We all know the first Predator, how great it was, Arnold, the jungle. This one, I remember as a kid watching it, I enjoyed it younger, but then I watched it just recently. I'm like, this wasn't that good. I did enjoy the Predator. I did enjoy some of the action, especially the final showdown. But as an overall, it wasn't a good movie. The acting, everyone was dialing it up. The action scenes were, just all over the place. I mean, I'll give it 2 stars just because it's Predator, and Predator as a villain is really cool, and it's Danny Glover. so I had to
That's
give it 2 stars at the most.
It's not a bad movie. It's just that we're thinking about the original Predator. We're saying, okay,
Right.
we got that, which is a classic, and then we have this sequel, which is a big drop down, a big step down. I, like you, liked it a lot as a kid. I thought I liked it as much as last week, but sitting down and watching it with a critical eye, it's like it's kind of a long, slow movie. There's not much to it. There's not much character development. Most of the characters are annoying. You're happy when Predator kills them. Fucking King Willie is giving speeches and dying 2 seconds later off screen. What the hell, man? The movie's still relatively entertaining.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 2 stars also, and for me, 2 stars means you can watch it and have fun with it.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna like buy the movie after you see it or think, oh, I have to have this in my collection. But if you're like flipping channels on a Saturday afternoon, it's on TV, you can watch it and have fun with it.
Right.
So I'm gonna still go 2
Yeah,
stars.
that's why I gave it.
All right, so for me, a lot of the acting was just completely terrible. It could be the direction, could be the script. Either way, the actors didn't do anything to improve upon it except for Danny Glover. Gary Busey, he just had too many short scenes. Couldn't get any fun out of them. Predator was intimidating, but coming off of the first Predator, I'd rather take my chances with the one in this movie. We don't even really get the score, that amazing score that we got from the first movie.
There
We
was
only get
hints of it, but not fully
I think we
didn't
only
embrace
got
it.
it once.
I thought it was basically the same score, wasn't it?
They didn't embrace it fully, and that was one of the other things I loved about the first movie was that score, especially that booming one, the one that is known for.
Yeah.
So overall, the only thing I like, Danny Glover and the Predator. So overall, I'm actually going to give this movie a 1. It's pretty.
Oh my
it-
God.
One
It
star.
is very long for me. A lot of the
Yeah.
scenes are drawn out.
They are. I agree.
I doubt I'm really going to jump back in on this movie for a while.
He's gonna go home and watch
Wow. You know,
No,
Nick,
I'm going to go home and watch Predator 1 when
let
I'm
me
in my
say this.
sleep.
Let me say this. Nick hates a lot of movies, but the coveted rare 1-star review. You had a really bad time with this movie.
it. You didn't enjoy it at all, huh?
And it was hot.
Folks, hope you enjoyed the episode. We hope our guest host, DJ High Def, will join us for future episodes. We're definitely doing Predator 1 in the future. Predator 2, you got our thoughts.
So everyone, you don't have to go home. You do got to get the fuck out of here. Grab some chicken nuggets. Grab me some hot mustard. Grab me some buffalo. Mail it to me.
Honey mustard.
Don't listen to Vic. He's very blasphemous. Make sure you also get me some buffalo while you're at it. And go to Hooters, grab me some wings, mail it to me. Better yet,
My God.
just mail me a whole woman while at it.
We
Make
know.
sure she's red. She has freckles. She has boobs. She has an ass.
You're asking a lot for our listeners. Holy shit.
Yeah, all 13 of them.
Just do the nuggets, guys. Everything else is set up for the nuggets.
At least do
Just
the
why not?
wings. I love the wings.
As Nick kills our audience. All right, folks, until next week.